Yeah, it's supposed to play it here. I'm shot, man.
Good afternoon. My name is Wayne Drinkward, class of 1973 of Harvey Mudd and chair of the Board of Trustees. It's my privilege to welcome you to the 57th annual commencement for Harvey Mudd College. Before we start, though, I'd ask you to join me in standing to hear the national anthem as sung by our graduating seniors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. We're here today to celebrate the class of 2015 and their completion of a rigorous academic curriculum as administered by the faculty here at Harvey Mudd College. But before we get to that, I'd like to have them acknowledge that they didn't do this alone. Their friends, family, and people with them that are here today to celebrate, I'd ask them to stand and give you all a standing ovation. And now I'd like to introduce to you the president of Harvey Mudd College, Maria Clave.
As we begin this ceremony, let us welcome our class of 2015, who are, after all, the reason we are all here today. And I'd also like to take this moment to recognize our trustees, administration, faculty, alumni, staff, and parents for their involvement in Harvey Mudd College, which makes today's ceremony possible. And I want to particularly thank members of the class of 1961 and 1965 who have joined us today in celebration of our 57th commencement. Please join me in thanking all of these people. One of my favorite parts of this ceremony is this is when we award each year the Henry T. Mudd Prize. In 1992, the college began a tradition of recognizing during commencement one person who has contributed greatly to generations of students and to Harvey Mudd College. The first recipient of the Henry T. Mudd Prize was President Emeritus, Professor Emeritus, and Trustee Emeritus Joe Platt. By tradition, the selection of the awardee is done in secret, and the recipient is not informed until this moment at commencement. The honoree will receive a $4,000 award, $2,000 of which is designated for use within the college at the discretion of the awardee. The citation reads, "For his more than 20 years of service as a role model to students and peers, and for demonstrating what it truly means to be an excellent member of the Harvey Mudd College community, for his patience, kindness, and genuine care for students, generously making him available, himself available officially through office hours and unofficially anytime a student is in need." Okay, so this could be any of probably about 100 people at this point. I'm going to limit it slightly. "For his excellent and creative teaching, always ensuring his courses are stimulating, challenging, and rewarding to all students. For his selfless commitment to the mission and quality of this institution, having been elected by his colleagues to a total of 13 years of service on the faculty executive and reappointment, promotion, and tenure committees, and serving as an associate dean of the faculty as well as chair of his department. For his acclaimed research and professional expertise, including recently serving as the co-director of the National Science Foundation's Research Experiences for Undergraduate site at Harvey Mudd College, which afforded the college the opportunity to greatly increase the number of undergraduate research students during the summer, in addition to expanding cross-college interactions. For encouraging the students to form a student chapter for the Association for Computer Machinery that has been successfully running since 2005. Okay, I think you've mostly guessed. For being a central and enduring presence in the Computer Sciences Department's transformation from a traditionally structured program to one with a nationally recognized trailblazing introductory computer science sequence. For being a man admired and highly regarded throughout the Claremont community. Ron Liebeskind Hadass, the R. Michael Shanahan Professor of Computer Science. So I asked him when he figured it out. He didn't figure it out until I said his name. An incredibly deserving recipient. And Ron, it says here, would you like to say a few words?
I'm literally speechless. I don't know what to say other than thank you so much for this. There's so many deserving people among my faculty colleagues, and I really didn't put the dots together until my name was called. I guess what I just want to say is congratulations to the graduates. I am so incredibly proud of you and so happy for you, and just glad to be here to share this special day with you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ron. I have to say, this is one of the hardest prizes to decide each year because there are just so many amazing people at Harvey Mudd College. But I want to say it is incredibly well deserved. Our next speaker is Cindy Ong-Prasad. Cindy is a graduating engineering major from Lake in the Hills, Illinois. While negotiating the normal heavy course load, she was heavily involved with other campus activities. Over the past 4 years, Cindy has worked with our Office of Residential Life as a mentor and proctor, in addition to participating in the joint music program between Harvey Mudd and Scripps in the orchestra. Academically, Cindy was chosen as an Engman Fellow in Prof. Orwin's Biomedical Engineering Lab. Please join me in welcoming our senior speaker, Cindy Ong-Prasad.
Thanks, everyone. Welcome to Commencement. The first time I came to this ceremony, I thought that was a really strange name for it. Commencement. It sounds like a beginning, but really what we're celebrating here is an end, that we made it through mud. And sometimes that end felt really far away. A few weeks ago, prospective students flooded our campus for Admitted Students Weekend. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, they were scoping out mud to see if it might be the place to make their new beginning. I heard many of my fellow seniors echo my own thoughts. They look so shiny. Was I ever that young, that excited, that nerdy? At that point, we upperclassmen were not shiny. We were buried in clinic or thesis or homework. Sleep-deprived and overworked, our shininess had been rubbed pretty thin. Some of us even joked that the prospective students should run while they still can. I feel like Mudd's motto should be head down and power through. We've just got to keep going, even when it seems impossible, especially when it seems impossible. And there were many different ways we got through tough assignments. Some of the strategies that my friends and I employed included the deal with the devil. If you do this half of the assignment and I do that half of the assignment, between the two of us, we'll understand the whole thing, so we'll be able to help each other finish. This is a trap. I warn you now. It made for some really late nights. There was also once more with feeling, attempting the problems separately, and then seeing if our answers matched. Inevitably, they didn't, and so we'd try again, once more, with feeling. There was the blood pact, not leaving until every single member of the group was finished, a sort of we're all in this together mentality. The blood pact gets some weird looks when we mention it, but there was no blood involved, I promise. But my personal favorite was our motto, one full ass, because with your half-ass and my half-ass, together, we would have one full ass. And we would be able to make it through the class. So our professors might not appreciate that last mindset, but one way or another, we managed to get the homework done. And we're done. So many people are congratulating us right now, and they should. Because congrats, we survived. We made it through, we're earning a diploma, but maybe sometimes you, like me, have felt like you haven't really earned it. I felt like I had just managed to slide by somehow, faking it. And most of us have heard of this imposter syndrome, that fear that someone's going to find out that you're a fraud. We're told that we shouldn't believe it, but it was hard to convince myself sometimes. I'm a senior engineer. I still can't debug my analog circuits by myself. I have no idea why bypass capacitors work. And soon, I'm supposed to go out into the world and convince someone to pay me money, when I can't even finish my homework without help from my professors. And in times like that, it helps to know that you're not alone. Most of us feel this way. After I failed a midterm this semester and I told a professor about how completely inadequate I felt, she looked at me and said, "You realize this isn't what real life is like, right? A real job is way easier than this." Exams here at Mudd are designed to push you to your limits, and jobs don't care about pushing you. They just want to get stuff done. That was reassuring. It helped me remember that we're not supposed to have the answers, that even the adults don't always have it together. While at Mudd, it's easy to get caught up in work and forget that there's more to life, especially when we're buried in clinic or thesis, which many people say is Mudd's way of telling us it's time to go. So I thought about why I came to Mudd. Yeah, it has some cool academic stuff, but that wasn't really the part that drew me here to this school 4 years ago, when I believed that Mudd was the most amazing college I had never heard of. I loved the people here. Ever since the day I visited as a shiny prospective student, I knew that I wanted to be surrounded by Mudders. And they haven't disappointed me. I wouldn't be speaking with you up here today if not for the people along the way who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I don't think I'll ever be able to repay the kindness and grace that has been shown to me here. To the faculty, thank you for your patience and for the hours you spend outside of class with students, helping us learn and grow. Thank you for guiding us through our time here and for life chats about anything and everything. To the staff, thank you for everything that you do. It's often underappreciated because everything runs so smoothly, we don't even realize how much work went into it. I mean, look around at this ceremony. It's a perfect example. Thank you for moving mountains for us. To our families, thank you for not getting mad when we forget to call or show up for holidays like sleep-deprived zombies. Thank you for all of your support throughout this marathon that we called our education. And to my classmates, thank you for all of your support throughout this journey. Nothing creates a bond quite like shared suffering, or character building, as we like to say. With you, I learned so much outside of the classroom. I know that 2 a.m. is the best time to have deep ethical conversations. Growing up means going from eating ice cream for dinner just because you can, to voluntarily eating healthy green things, sometimes. All-nighters for work are pretty much never worth it, but it's always worth it if you're having fun with your friends. And being a senior means warning the underclassmen about the silly mistakes that I've made, and then watching them make the same ones, and then growing from that experience. As we all go on to the next chapter of our lives, we're going to be freshmen again. We'll be doing something new, starting with a clean slate. This is the commencement of the rest of our lives. Remember those new shiny feelings when they happen. It'll be easy to go forward and get jaded again in a few years, but what kind of life is that? When things look dark, just remember, keep calm and stay shiny. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. That was awesome. I'm delighted to introduce today's commencement speaker, Mary Nichols. Mary Nichols currently serves as the chairman of the California Air Resources Board, a post she has held since 2007 and also from 1979 to 1983. Talk about repeating yourself. The Air Resources Board works with the business sector, the public, and local governments to reduce air pollution and fight climate change, with an overall mission to promote and protect public health. As chair of the Air Resources Board, Mary has led the effort to implement Assembly Bill 32, California's landmark legislation to reduce greenhouse gases. As part of her strategy to carry out the legislation, the Air Resources Board designed and implemented the world's most comprehensive cap and trade program to limit greenhouse gas emissions. Mary also oversees a variety of other efforts to improve California's air quality. She has put in place innovative rules and regulations to cut emissions and drive investment in cleaner, more efficient technologies that benefit California. She was instrumental in leading California's joint effort with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the Federal Department of Transportation to develop historic greenhouse gas emission and fuel economy standards for passenger vehicles. In recent years, she has also overseen the adoption of California's diesel truck rules, delivering major public health and clean air benefits for Southern California and beyond. And I just wanted to say, Michael Blaskin, class of 63, one of the members of our board, asked me to personally thank Mary Nichols, because when he was a student here at Harvey Mudd, they could never see Mount Baldy. And now, as you know, we can see Mount Baldy almost every day. Mary has Mary has devoted her entire career to advocating for the environment and public health. After graduating from Cornell University and Yale Law School, she practiced environmental law in Los Angeles, where she argued cases on behalf of environmental and public health organizations to enforce state and federal clean air legislation. President Clinton appointed her to head the Office of Air and Radiation at the U.S. EPA in Washington, where from 1993 to 97, she oversaw many regulatory breakthroughs, including the acid rain trading program and the first air quality standard regulating fine particles. Mary also served as California's Secretary for Natural Resources from 1999 to 2003. Prior to her return to the Air Resources Board, she was professor of law and director of the Institute of the Environment at UCLA. The Los Angeles Times has called her an environmental rock star. Yes. CBS News dubbed her the Queen of Green. And she was recognized in 2013 as one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world. Please join me in welcoming Mary Nichols.
Thank you so much, President Claway, for that amazing introduction. And I want to also extend my special greetings to the faculty and the administration, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins and friends, esteemed guests, protesters, of who there were a few outside the gate there, and most of all, to the graduates. Before I even attempt to go on, however, I want to say that it's actually rather unfair to a guest speaker to invite them to follow your student speaker. Cindy, that was amazing, and I'd like to give you another round of applause. I say that because no one can possibly capture the special essence of what it means to have been a student here in quite such a wonderful and really broad way. And so I'm going to not even attempt to do anything like that. But I do want to say that I'm especially pleased to have been asked to come and speak here today, because I do represent what, by many accounts nowadays, is considered to be one of, if not the world's most successful environmental programs. And in some ways, even more relevant to my being here today is the fact that there has been so much work done on this campus to improve diversity, to improve the engagement with the community. And these issues of environmental equity and environmental justice are the tasks that all of us are going to be dealing with in our careers, in our lives to come. Your president, President Claway, is a recognized leader among academics and scientists in this critical movement, and we're beginning to see the results. So thank you for all of that. I also speak to you as a member of an underrepresented group on this campus. namely people who washed out of calculus in high school. Thank you. Thank you. I thought that would get more of a response. Apparently not. I graduated with honors in Russian literature and awards in creative writing, but when years later my father, who was a professor of electrical engineering at Cornell, found out that I had been selected for a job that had something to do with setting air pollution standards for automobiles, he was completely flabbergasted. Now, I tell this in part because those of you who are graduating today with your marvelous educations in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and the job opportunities that I know are waiting for you out there, we know that your fate, as well as the fate of the planet, are in the hands of people like me who have none of those advantages, and others who will get to be part of the decision-making as well. You've worked hard to get here today, and you deserve to get a little bit of a break and kick back, but not for too long, because I'm here to tell you that there's a lot more to be done, and we need you to help do it. As you all know, our planet is already experiencing major climatic shifts that are affecting our weather, precipitation patterns, as well as the health and the survival of communities all over the world. We need to immediately and significantly change the way we generate and use energy and the ways we manage our built and natural environments. In California, despite decades of tremendous progress, many of our cities and counties still rank as the most polluted in the country. In much of the state, including here in Southern California, we may have to cut pollution another 90% below recent levels over about 15 years just in order to comply with federal health standards set under the Clean Air Act. For some, including many people in my generation, the scale of these problems staggers the imagination. But for some of us, and I hope for most of you, it fires us up. Over the next 50 years, that is the duration of the working lives of the people who are graduating here today, we must virtually eliminate all sources of air and climate pollution. That's pretty much all. If solutions are going to come from anywhere to problems of these dimensions, they're going to come from graduates of Harvey Budd College. The changes and the choices that will get us there depend on you. The state of California has a pretty good head start. We've adopted goals, reducing our emissions of greenhouse gases to 80% below 1990 by 2050, which is the level that's required to reduce California's contribution to what is needed according to the best science to prevent a global climate increase of 2 degrees centigrade. We've capped our emissions and instituted the first economy-wide allowance trading in the world. We are enforcing rules aimed at reducing the carbon content of fuels and increasing the fraction of electricity that's generated by renewable resources, not counting dams or nuclear energy, to 33% by 2020. And we're well on track to reach our interim target of returning our greenhouse gas emissions levels to 1990 by 2020, by which time all of you will be settling into your careers and your grown-up lives. But to get to the longer-term goals that will shape the future, not only of California's economy and our iconic landscapes, but the chances of the people of the rest of the world for healthy, secure lives, we need to do much more. Governor Brown has expressed this challenge as 3 50s. We need to get to 50% renewables in our generating mix. We could do better. We need to reduce our petroleum use by 50%. We need to make all of our existing buildings 50% more efficient. And we've added a few more goals for good measure, including restoring the ability of our forests, farms, and natural lands to store carbon, and protecting our cities from the emerging new normal of climate-related emergencies. Now, the parallel with the lives of the students who are graduating here today, I think, is somewhat instructive. By 2025, just as you are settling into your working lives and probably having bought your first zero net carbon home, making a contribution through your work to sustainability overall, we need to see at least 1.5 million electric and fuel cell cars on California's roads. And global greenhouse gas emissions need to have peaked and started to decline. You will be getting ready to attend your 10th reunion. By the time you're 40, as you begin asking yourself where the time is going, you will have helped to virtually eliminate all air pollution from vehicles in Southern California, and will have greenhouse gas emissions below about 40% below 1980 levels. We'll have cut our petroleum use in half. We'll be well on our way. And by the time that you're back here to applaud as parents of a hypothetical child that have graduated from Harvey Mudd, you will have helped to transform the entire economy to one of carbon neutrality and figured out how to do it all in ways that also promote opportunity for all. So it's as simple as that. Save the world, then you can retire. But of course you won't want to, because you will be having too much fun working together, creating these solutions, socializing with each other, etc. Now, I only fantasize a little bit, because the fact is that science and technology applied without adequate knowledge of the consequences or respect for the interconnectedness of life got us into the scary mess that we're in today, and we're going to have to use them to get us out of it. So that means that people from Harvey Mudd College are going to have to talk to a lot of other folks and educate them, including journalists, politicians, poets, and linguists, and all of us together are going to have to be part of the solution. But I know you're up for the task. You are the graduates of the top-ranked undergraduate engineering program in the country, and so you actually are the rock stars. You are problem solvers. I know that from my daily interactions with scientists and engineers at the Air Resources Board, that people who approach life from the perspective that they will find a solution, that there is a solution, that they can figure it out if they pull it apart and take it to the next level, if they don't say it can't be done, but say there's a solution, we just have to look at this in a different way, this is what it's going to take to get us through. And this applies regardless of the constraints or the particular problem that you're trying to solve. Now, take the example of being able to see Mount Baldy, which I was happy to be thanked for. Me and a few thousand other people definitely had a lot to do with the fact that we can see Mount Baldy on most days from this campus. Well, the Air Resources Board, back in the 1970s, had to fight to get to that point. We did have the solutions, or we thought we knew what could be done, but the fact is that the lobbyists and the lawyers, in many cases, for the companies that we were approaching, told us it couldn't be done. But once they got over the legal and political battles and let the scientists and engineers take over, they did find solutions, including, among other things, the three-way catalytic converter, onboard diagnostic systems, better materials, etc. And so today, cars that are on the road are 99% cleaner than they were then, and the industry is thriving, and you get to enjoy the view of the mountains from most days on the campus. So we have a reason to feel confident that using our brains, as well as making commitments, we can solve problems, and that we can also stabilize our climate. But we also know that it's not technology alone that will solve our climate and air quality problems. There's a broad array of strategies out there that can help us. Some of them are indeed technical and complex, such as automated vehicles or offshore wind turbines. Others may be as simple as walking more and eating your vegetables. But what we need to access all of these strategies is a combination of a moral commitment to address the problem and an understanding of how to work effectively in the public and political arena. Harvey Mudd graduates have got that kind of education behind them, and I hope the confidence that you, in fact, are going to be able to do this. because you're going to need to bring with you all that you gained here, your technical expertise, your liberal arts training, as well as your honor code. Yes, that too, because we have to believe that if we give people choices to do the right thing on climate change, they will. So, my view is we need more mudders in the world helping us to solve all these problems and to lead us with hearts and minds, and that we need to be confident in what we can do together, and I know you are. So I'm standing between you and a diploma, which is going to be a recognition of what you've achieved so far, and I hope you're going to take it and use it to help the rest of us as we all move forward together. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you, Mary, for all the work that you've been doing and your important message to our class and inspiration for the future. As an older alum, I have to tell Cindy and the class, you still look pretty bright, new, and nerdy. Don't worry about that too much. It takes a lot of time to wear that off. So now, for the purpose that we've come here today, yesterday the faculty presented a resolution to the Board of Trustees recommending the awarding of degrees to members of the class of 2015. The Board of Trustees approved that resolution unanimously. I'd now like to ask Jeff Groves, Dean of the Faculty, to step forward and present the candidates.
Will the Bachelor of Science degree candidates of the class of 2015 please rise? Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the faculty of Harvey Mudd College, it is my great pleasure to present the candidates who have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science.
On behalf of Harvey Mudd College, it's my pleasure to confer on you the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertain thereto. Congratulations.
William Hamilton Fletcher Clausen. Alejandro Wolf Alderman. Cindy Ongpasit. Christopher J. Apple. Jonathan Ashley. Teo Azinari. George Greg Espesi. Michael Ayers Bader. Justin Bai. Sagar Bachu. Travis Austin Beckman. Susanna Beeler. Amanda Catherine Bennett. Marie-Claire Jean Bennett. Brett William Berger. Victor Bhattacharya. Emily Blatter. Richard J.T. Booth. Brittany Borg. James Harold Bowen. Andrew Ian Brockman. Wendy Brooks. Najla Boulos. Nicholas John Carter. Jessica Chen. Cece Cheng. Michelle Muriel Chesley. Arthur Chi. Kevin Choi. Annie Chung. Brett Collins. Matthew Lee Cook. Cody O'Keefe Crosby. Michael John Culhane. Emma Catherine Davis. Philip Brent Davis. Rupert Hart Deese. Colleen Devon. Jacob Perry Johnson Dittus. Neftali Dominguez. Andrew Donelick. Priya Lekha Donti. Caitlin Ann Dwelly. Risa Tom Eggeter. Mary Elise Elam. Christopher Erickson. Matthew Bowers Espy. Tristan Fitch. May Lynn Forson. Isabella Funke. Greta Gadbois. Eli Jameson Gadd. Robert Gregory Gamby. Andrew Gibiansky. Elizabeth Toolman Gibson. Ki-Wan Koo. Eun Bin Go. Graham J. Gordon. Kevin Francis Hale. Taylor Marie Hanley. Madison Haley Hansen. Ari Nesher Hausman Cohen. Corey John Hayes. Daisy Hernandez. Christopher Herlinger. Yirsi Haladish. Tyler Holland Ashford. Yamun Hong. Crystal Shu. Henry Huang. Ellen Fong Ke Hui. Stephen Gabriel Ibanez. Paul Jerger. Jiang Kwamang. Justin Jones. Alexander Kent Kendrick. Ethan Surmay Kenny. Gaurav Kaj. Marie C. Kierkegaard. Musa Kiani. Rojesh Koirola. Weimang Kong. Matthew Lamb. Viona Lamb. Kevin Thomas Lau. Jisoo Lee. Amanda Nicole Lemire. Brian Leonard. Yu Kan Lin. John Paul Christopher Littleton. Martin Lonkarek. Su Yan Lu. Rachel McFarlane. Calvin J. Maldonado. Tyler Daniel Markland. Danielle Leah Marquis. Mary Dryden May. Celeste Louise Malamed. Alexander Melville. Sean M. Messenger. Cassandra Rose Jong Meyer. Andrew Jordan Michaud. Ryland August Miller. Christina Lauren Ming. Christopher Miro. Allison Victoria Miss. Dimitri Anthimos Manavoukas. BK Ndefo Dao. Hung Nguyen. Hui Quan Nguyen. Owen Nugent. Jacqueline Lee Kwa Ong. Peter Orm. Leaf Park Jordan. Ariana Perkins. Taylor Edward Peterson. Samuel Pramode. Carson Ramsden. Grecia Isabel Rodriguez. Rachel Rowley. Vanessa Marie Ronan. Jacob Lee Rosenblum. Aaron Michael Rosenthal. Michael Safran. Joshua Kingman Sands. Tamara Heilshorn Savage. Kathleen Schaefer. Sarah Scheffler. Allison Schubauer. Christine Dawn Schubert. Ryan Zachary Selden. Kyle C. Shan. Rachel Sherman. Kongjia Xu. Tongjia Xu. Linnea Shin. Sachit Sood. Arthi Shreedhar. Luke St. Marie. Colin Andrew Stanfill. Cleo Jane Stannard. Jeffrey Kent Steele. Sarah Stevens. Vivian Stiert. Devin Alexander Olson Stork. Eric Storm. Eric Stuckey. Christopher Seguino. Alexander Pierce Uribe Swafford. Meng Yi Tao. Henry Ki Tay. Christy Joanna Thompson. Samaporn Dinyanun. Brian Santiago Trujillo. Sarah Elizabeth Tweedy. Jordan Alexandra Feathers Varney. Zachary Scott Vickland. Mikhail Vysotsky. Jesse Berlin Watts Russell. Michelle Way. Nicole Wine. Ariel Jean Willie. Sophia Rose Williams. Ivan Wong Sing Chin. Kaya Danae Woodall. Helen Jessie Woodward. Yantao Wu. Chu Sin Lei. Bruce Yan. Ling Xiao Bruce Yang. Jingbin Yang. Senia Zakirova. Nabil Zaman. Emma Zhang Schwartz. Stephanie Marie Zellner. Sherry Zhang. Jennifer Zeng. Angela Joe. Varun Kanwar. Congratulations to the HMC class of 2015.
The graduates we honor today have achieved a new status at the college, that of HMC alumni. Here to welcome you to that amazing group is Jerry Van Hecke, class of 1961, professor of chemistry and president of the Alumni Association.
President Clave, Chair Drinkward, Dr. Nichols, trustees, faculty, family, friends. Have I forgotten anyone? Oh, wait a minute. You guys in the short seats up front, huh? The new alumni. Welcome. You made it. You have, by making it, joined one of the more exclusive clubs in the world, the Harvey College Alumni Association. And if you don't believe that, just think of the dues you paid. I should mention maybe some memorable moments leading up today, a sample of what might be participating in club activities, honor code discussions, which is a big issue this past year, dorm government, inner tube water polo, long tall glasses, maybe too many all-nighters to remember, and just hanging out. But some of these things I've just mentioned, while being fond memories, are not what I want to dwell on today. I want to challenge you to become active in the Alumni Association activities. About those activities, there are many. The Alumni Association activities are planned and carried out by the Board of Governors in conjunction with the Office of Alumni and Parent Relations and the Office of Annual Giving. By the way, the Alumni Association just celebrated its 50th anniversary last month. Simply stated, the mission of the association is to foster and support ties between alumni and the college. There are 21 governors elected by you who have organized the board into 7 standing committees: admissions, events, executive fund, networking, outreach, and selections. Let me briefly describe admissions, events, networking, and outreach as those committee activities you may find most interesting in your early days as an alum. The admission committee finds and coordinates alumni volunteers called admission ambassadors who staff high school college nights. Last year, those admission ambassadors staffed almost 100 college nights across the country, and in doing so, greatly helped the admission office find the next generation of you guys. If this activity interests you, check out the webpage, the alumni webpage. In fact, make sure you do that early and often. The events committee does what its name implies. Plans regional events, such as whale watching in Monterey Bay, which is coming up on June 6th, by the way, so if you're up there and looking to watch some whales, there's an activity. Or the Chicago Picnic in the Park, which has become an annual regional event in the Chicago area. Or you may join one of the international travels, such as the recently concluded trip to Antarctica. Some 38 alumni just played penguins down there. I bet many of you met alumni at Alumni Day 2 weeks ago. Probably some of you had a beer with governors at Jay's Place just back in March. This is a plea to read your email from the college, to learn about those outstanding opportunities to mix with fellow alumni while having a really great time. The networking committee wants you and you to join LinkedIn. Now, some of you already are in that, and that's a good thing because it's a good professional way to keep touch and make connections with fellow Mudders. Did you attend one of the outreach committees, career forums in the last 3 years? These forums bring back alumni to talk with current students about their careers and career paths. Our next forum will be in September. You will be invited, and if you can, please come back and talk to the current undergraduates. Now, there's an interesting phrase in there in that last sentence. You guys are no longer current undergraduates. Alumni Association activities are designed to keep the ties between you and the college, you and your fellow alums close. That is, engage you with the entire college community. You have so far enjoyed the community of students and faculty, but today your community expands to include accomplished and distinguished alumni as well. I'd like you to do something for me. Turn and shake one or two of your fellow classmates' hands. Go ahead. Thank you. When next you see your classmate, whether 5 weeks from now, 5 years from now, or 50 years from now, and that's what this gold jacket's all about, when you see her or him, it will be as if time stood still. It will be a wonderful, strange experience that stems from the community you experienced here at Harvey Mudd, and that will continue to engage you with the college and each other in the future. In a few minutes, you will be leaving the campus and move on to what our founding president, Joe Platt, often described as the dangerous territory of making something of yourself. So do that. And from my experience with fellow alums, I know you will. I end these remarks with 2 requests. 1, stay in touch with each other and the college. And 2, using the words of Spock, someone who must be regarded as a STEM hero, live long and prosper.
Way to go, VH. Tremendous progress and changes have occurred during the 4 years that you, the class of 2015, have spent at Harvey Mudd. Almost certainly, the greatest transformation has occurred in you yourselves. You've grown in so many different ways, in knowledge, in creativity, in wisdom, at least most of you, most of the time. Your development has been the primary focus for the past 4 years of all of our wonderful faculty and staff, and we're deeply proud of what you, the class of 2015, has achieved. Now, I just want to mention that with respect to our wonderful faculty, during your time at Mudd, we have welcomed 19 new tenure-track faculty, and 5 more will arrive this summer. That means that about a quarter of our faculty are new. We've seen some great improvements to our campus during your time here. Shortly before you arrived, we began construction on the Shanahan Center for Teaching and Learning. You will remember that large, tall fence and the fact that you couldn't ride your skateboard in front of Kingston in case you crashed into somebody like me coming out of Kingston. We moved into this incredible state-of-the-art building midway through your time here, And in the last 2 years, we've also made significant renovations to spaces in Olin and Parsons. Those of you who are graduating as engineering majors, you know you had the best clinic space ever at Harvey Mudd. And we're nearing completion on our first new dorm in more than a decade. During your third year here, I know I'm going to get a huge round of applause for this, the Board of Trustees unanimously approved growing our student body, something we will do thoughtfully over 10 years. Oh my goodness, where's that applause? Come on, guys. Okay, this next one you can applaud more for. We also launched the public phase of our first fundraising campaign in 20 years with a goal of raising $150 million, and as of today, we've raised just over $120 million in gifts and pledges. Well, that does... We've made significant progress in the diversity of our student population. I'm pleased to share that next year Harvey Mudd will welcome its most diverse class ever, the class of 2019, that will include 44 Latino students and 28 Black students, two populations that have been underrepresented at Harvey Mudd for our entire history. And I just want to say that there's been an awful lot of people who have contributed to increasing the diversity of our student population. And I want to, in particular, mention all of the people who are tour guides or have done various outreach things to high school students, which is an awful lot of our students. Of course, our staff and admission, our faculty. This has been something we have all worked on as a community and something I'm extraordinarily proud of. But there are other things I'm really happy about too. When the class of 2015 arrived, Harvey Mudd was the most amazing college you've never heard of. Today, we've seen a huge increase in the college's visibility, being ranked #1 for return on investment by PayScale 4 years in a row, witnessing the launch of the college's first massive open online courses, and seeing your faculty and academic departments recognized nationally have undoubtedly been points of pride for all of us. We are now, I'm proud to say, the most amazing college you've ever heard of. Now, these are all wonderful achievements and ones that a lot of people have worked very hard on. But the achievements we're most proud of today are what all of you in the class of 2015 have accomplished. Members of your class have been recognized by the National Science Foundation, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the William Laurel Putnam Mathematical Competition, the Thomas J. Watson Fellowships, the Computing Research Association, and the Mathematical Association of America, just to name a few. These notable awards are balanced by the countless daily examples of extraordinary generosity, kindness, creativity, and service you've displayed to each other, to your fellow classes at Harvey Mudd, and to the community around us. Thank you. And the class of 2015 has big plans after today. About 62% of you plan to pursue full-time employment at companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, SpaceX, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon. Several of you are headed to academic labs, including MIT's Lincoln Labs and the Johns Hopkins Applied Physical Laboratory. One of you even plans to work at the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard and Intermediate Maintenance Facility as a mechanical engineer. Who is that? Whoa! In terms of graduate school, 27% of you say you plan to pursue advanced degrees. Some of the schools you're attending include UC San Diego, MIT, Harvard, the University of Chicago, Johns Hopkins, Caltech, Ohio State University, the University of Minnesota, Colorado School of Mines, Montana State University, Oregon State University, and some other place up north called Stanford. There seem to be a lot of people going to Stanford this year. And you are going to study everything from chemical biology to astrophysics to nuclear energy to molecular engineering to theoretical computer science. I am so proud of you. Some of you will pursue prestigious fellowships. Some of you haven't decided on what your future plans hold, and a few of you plan to take a much-needed year off. Yeah, you deserve it. I challenge you to remember the lessons you've learned here. Our mission calls us to educate the next generation of leaders in science, engineering, and mathematics with a foundation in the humanities and social sciences and the arts so that you may understand the impact of your work on society. So to each of you, regardless of what your future holds, I ask you to think deeply about what your impact will be. And I know we can look forward to hearing great things from each of you. In closing, all in all, it's been an incredible 4 years for all of us at Harvey Mudd College. As always, it's really difficult to say goodbye to such wonderful students. Like everyone else at Mudd, I will miss you enormously. I know the faculty and staff join me in wishing you all the best, whatever you decide to do. Please be sure to send me email to let you know what's happening in your life and to come back for Alumni Weekend every year, not this 5-year nonsense, but every year. Congratulations on graduating from Harvey Mudd, the best science and engineering undergraduate education on the face of the earth. Also the most challenging, rigorous science and engineering undergraduate education on the face of the earth. Ladies and gentlemen, the 57th annual commencement ceremony of Harvey Mudd College is now concluded. I would like the audience to remain standing and allow the academic procession to exit the site to the back of the tent. Please follow our graduates to the reception at the Shanahan Center for Teaching and Learning back on our campus. Thank you so much.
Thank you.